Welcome to NPD News Midtown Edition. My name is Nancy Glover, Director of Housing and Community Development for the City of Temple, here with
Kelly Atkinson, Senior Neighborhood Planner, also City of Temple. You might have noticed some signs around your neighborhood, received a flyer in the mail, or maybe even a quick visit from one of our team members on our Love Where You Live initiative for neighborhood planning.
This is one of 18 different neighborhood districts that we've identified throughout the city, and this is our 6th plan that we've worked on alongside residents and you, our neighbor. We hope you enjoy this episode of NPD News Midtown Edition.
Let's go check in with the most friendly and compassionate neighbor of all, Mr. Rogers.
Hey Midtown, how are you today? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a new plan. Would you join us? Could you join us? It's a neighborly day in Midtown, a neighborly day to give input. Would you join us? Could you join us? I've always wanted to make a plan just for you. I've always wanted to hear remarks just from you. Let's make the most of this new plan today. While we're together, we might as well say, would you join us? Could you join us? Won't you give your input? Would you please? Could you please? Please, would you give your input? Oh, look, a survey response from a neighbor. Thank you for taking time to fill out our survey. The information is very, very important to us. Let's tune in and go see what the neighborhood plan says, shall we?
The City of Temple is dedicated to fostering cohesive, distinct, vibrant, safe, and attractive neighborhoods where citizens take pride and are engaged with their community. These objectives will be accomplished through the work of the city's neighborhood planning team. Through a process of collaboration and communication, the city's neighborhood team will strive to ensure continued improvements to Temple's neighborhoods, as well as access to a wide variety of housing types that are safe, accessible, and affordable.
The Midtown neighborhood is located in the heart of Temple and is one of the community's original developments. Because of this long history, the neighborhood contains some of Temple's most iconic landmarks. The Santa Fe Clinic, which served as one of the first locations for Scott and White Hospital, is one of those icons and is a beautiful reminder of Temple's medical roots. The Gober Party House, Barclay Mansion, and St. Mary's Catholic Church are also some of the area's most beautiful historic features. The northern boundary of the district is the railroad tracks. The eastern boundary is 3rd Street and 1st Street. The southern boundary is Avenue M, and the western boundary is 31st Street. The Midtown neighborhood not only stands in the heart of Temple, but also embodies the heart of our citizens. Almost all of the social service agencies that serve the homeless and less fortunate are located within the district. Every day, scores of volunteers from throughout the community descend upon this district to lend a helping hand.
A big part of the neighborhood planning process includes data gathering. This includes understanding the demographics of the neighborhood, gathering a photo inventory of buildings and assets within the neighborhood, understanding our thoroughfare plan, understanding our future land uses, looking at our zoning breakdown, and understanding the health and condition of each and every parcel throughout the neighborhood. There's also a sidewalk analysis to understand our connectivity for pedestrians and bicyclists throughout the area.
The planning process for the Midtown neighborhood was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The neighborhood planning team was challenged to develop alternative community engagement methods so that crucial feedback could still be gathered from the residents. As a part of this outreach, city staff conducted a door-to-door survey to engage plan area residents and inform them about the planning process.
Hi, I'm Erin Smith, Assistant City Manager here from the City of Temple, and I am standing right in front of Jones Park, one of the key features in the Midtown neighborhood. Jones Park has an existing playground and basketball courts, and the city hopes to improve those features within the neighborhood park. We also propose to add a splash pad. The area surrounding the park is in need of some development opportunities as well. And so what we propose to do is have some mixed-use development, which will include attached residential units, as well as a retail mix there as well. In order to increase the safety of the park, we propose to add lighting, as well as an interior trail, and increase pedestrian networks leading to there, which includes improvements to the adjacent street, intersections for safe pedestrian crossings, as well as sidewalk connectivity.
Hi, we're here at the Recycle Center over behind the Gober Party House at the intersection of 31st and Avenue H. And some of the plans that we've drawn up within the Midtown Neighborhood Plan shows the addition of some screening opportunities, adding some enhanced landscaping, really just to provide a better buffer between other uses in our recycle center.
So as we're going through these planning processes, it's always fun to come up with these amazing new ideas. Those ideas sometimes will end up in the action items. At the end of each plan, we have a list of action items that we intend to implement into each neighborhood. With this plan, we have a really fun, cool idea that we're really hoping might take off and end up in our plan, and it's a sustainable living center. So expanding the recycle center to include mulching, classes about sustainable living, additional uses for the Gober Party House, which is just right across the street from the recycle center, and just really bringing people in to learn about sustainable living. We're just so excited to be able to expand this facility to do that.
The recycling center would benefit from having an expanded buffer area, which would allow for increased planting space and an improved aesthetic appearance, enhancing areas of lighting for safety and wayfinding, and also utilizing evergreen plantings to allow for better screening year-round.
As we mentioned earlier, this is our 6th neighborhood plan. One of the plans that we completed earlier in the year is the central plan, which is just on the other side of the railroad tracks here on 25th Street. We want to take special care in making sure that we tie each of these plans together with main thoroughfares through each neighborhood. 25th Street has been a particular focus for us, especially as it relates to neighborhood services, creating opportunities, both infill and redevelopment and adaptive reuse opportunities that really fit well within the fabric of the existing area. We successfully were able to accomplish that in the central plan. We're bringing that same spirit through the Midtown plan and then on to the TMED plan in the future. Creating more options for multifamily and single-family attached housing types would allow for more people to live and work in the plan area. We intend to encourage a step-down approach where buildings incrementally decrease in height while ensuring the compatibility between different housing types. Expanding Jones Park and better integrating it into the neighborhood will improve safety and the use of this park. We also intend to address localized flooding through targeted green infrastructure and open spaces. Additionally, open spaces will be utilized for community gardens.
You hear that, Midtown Neighborhood? That's the sound of progress, and we would love to add to that. TxDOT currently has a project right now for a pedestrian bridge to get you over this overpass here adjacent to 31st Street. So what we're looking at right now is the underpass section, Mama Dog Circle. So we're looking at adding some additional screening. We want to add some landscaping, additional lighting, put some sidewalks through here, make it a more pedestrian-friendly environment. This would really help us out in connecting all of these wonderful facilities over here, such as our Recycle Center, our Gober Party House, as well as the Pet Adoption Center.
Utilizing a combination of plants and fencing to screen the recycling center and having clearly defined entry and exit points will improve pedestrian comfort and safety. Providing lighting along the sidewalk and underneath the bridge will improve both visibility and safety for this area. Landscaping can be used as a buffer between 31st Street and the sidewalk using a mix of evergreen and perennial plantings, which will improve functionality year-round.
We're here at Avenue G and 7th Street. Avenue G has a very rich history in Temple. This used to be a very active street with lots of retailers, hotels, the Santa Fe Hospital. This rich history has since seen some decline and now serves more for social service agencies, particularly the Salvation Army, Shelter, Feed My Sheep, Churches Touching Lives for Christ Pantry, and St. Vincent de Paul. Because of the location of those social service agencies, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic and bicycle traffic along Avenue G now. The way that the street was originally laid out doesn't really lend itself well to this new purpose, this new life for the street. So our improvements that we're proposing will help to enhance some of the landscaping, enhance the intersections to make them more pedestrian friendly, while also adding lighting to improve safety and just overall improvements to that pedestrian experience. The plan includes narrowing the roadway in key areas, creating an opportunity for additional parallel or angled parking along Avenue G. It also includes enhanced intersections by adding pavers and signage that improves pedestrian visibility and safety, as well as traffic calming and increased vehicle awareness. Enhanced lighting along Avenue G will improve safety and use of the street. We propose using different types of lights, such as string lights and street lights, that can increase pedestrian interest. Improved landscaping functions to support infill and adaptive reuse, as well as complements a more robust sidewalk system to create a pedestrian-friendly environment and an appealing street aesthetic. Along Avenue H, existing buildings with unique character can be reused as retail or office space to improve a sense of place. Appropriately scaled signage, which highlights the street's commercial presence while keeping in character with the neighborhood, will also be recommended. Providing landscaping and improved lighting along Avenue H will create a more cohesive feeling throughout the neighborhood, while sidewalks will be implemented on both sides of the street, creating a more walkable and pedestrian-friendly environment. We're also encouraging new construction to use materials and colors that match the existing character of the corridor. Alleys will be used for parking access to minimize road disturbances.
Hi, I'm Ron, your neighborhood revitalization manager. This may look like I'm standing in an alley, but we feel like we're standing on opportunity. Imagine, if you will, changing this alley into something that was more pedestrian friendly, more bicycle friendly, a place where you could take your kids for a walk, where you could walk the dog, where you could stroll with your neighbors and have a conversation away from traffic in a safe environment. That's what we propose, and that's what we look for. Great opportunities here in the alleys throughout Temple. It would connect the north and south edges of the neighborhood planning district. We're really excited about this and hope you'll review that part of the plan with us.
There is a significant presence of alleys within the Midtown neighborhood, with most being unpaved corridors for utilities. The amount of vehicle access afforded by the alley varies from block to block. The value and role alleys play within the character of a neighborhood are not always evident. The plan outlines a variety of considerations to be used in the evaluation and planned use of alleys. These considerations include utility placement, improved lot access, aesthetic contributions, and existing uses. Recommendations include paving key alleyways to provide pedestrian access, improved vehicle safety, resolving utility and ownership conflicts, as well as providing rear access to reduce parking in the right-of-way.
The overall proposed changes to Avenue M improve our pedestrian experience, it increases safety, and it contributes to a unified sense of place. Additionally, the improved performance of our street environment really creates a harmony among our differing land uses along this corridor.
Reduced driveways and curb cuts along Avenue M will create a safer and more cohesive street environment. Alley access should be used for both residential and commercial parking access. Implementing sidewalks on both sides of the street will increase connectivity between districts and promote walkability within the neighborhood. A two-way cycle track on the south side of Avenue M allows for bike and pedestrian traffic to be separated or merge into a shared use path in key locations. With consideration to neighborhood conservation, one of the issues affecting the ability to encourage the plan area's desired residential character deals with the curb appeal of the blocks. The plan area is faced with a unique characteristic of having a wide street right-of-way and a small front yard. The image below highlights an example of this condition in the neighborhood, and the illustration here highlights the current street configuration with a proposed street configuration to reduce the right-of-way and allow for larger front yard setbacks. This in turn will allow for sidewalks to be installed and prevent blocking of these sidewalks by vehicles and driveways.
Hi, I'm here right outside of the Gober Party House at one of the key intersections that you see when you enter the Midtown neighborhood. Neighborhood identification is a component of all of our neighborhood plans, but it's very important that we include these in each of them. When we focused on the Midtown plan, we especially focused on neighborhood identification to ensure that that sense of arrival was there when everyone entered the Midtown neighborhood. We do this by identifying key intersection points when people enter the neighborhood at those busiest intersections, and then we install monument signage so you have that sense of arrival when you've entered the neighborhood and know that you are truly entering the Midtown area. And then we also focus on internal signage as well. Those include street sign toppers as well as modifications to existing street signs. So you know whenever you're in the internal area of the neighborhood as well as when you're entering the neighborhood.
The plan includes a variety of lighting recommendations. Due to the diversity of residential and commercial properties, the plan area has been divided into different zones. Each zone has unique lighting recommendations that balance lighting for safety concerns while maintaining residential privacy.
You know, that's how you can tell when you're all grown up inside. When what you're planning and what you're doing is of help to you and of help to your neighbors. We are really proud that you are with us today. Thank you.
Mr. Rogers encourages all of us to be great neighbors, and we'd like you to do that too. Please give us your feedback on this video before April 2nd. You can do that by visiting NPD News at templetx.gov. Thank you, and have a good day, neighbor.